Moderate drought. Now we look ahead for the next 5 days. We're looking at potentially heavy rainfall working in. Now, when we talk about this heavy rainfall, we break down some of the different surfaces. Of course, you'd rather see the heavier rainfall come in a natural environment where you're talking about the ground. But as we show you on the radar, rain coming down still pretty good across parts of Boston, all the way up towards Bangor. We're looking at Interstate 95. Now, as we go through today, heavy rain in the forecast. And then tomorrow kind of dries out across parts of New England, but then it's going to be coming down across parts of the Appalachians, the Outer Banks, as we get that kind of renewed push. This is from Asheville over towards Raleigh. As we break this down, we already have flash flood watches in effect. And as we show you, these are for the areas in green. When you just get too much water out there, of course, it causes the flooding problem. Now we look ahead and we want to kind of look at some totals and how you see the rainfall amounts and how it impacts the area. As we look at areas like Pittsburgh, it only takes 1 inch in 3 hours to deal with flash flooding. Of course, that's an urban area where you have the concrete. Now you look at some of the environments up towards the north, 2 inches in 3 hours. Of course, you're looking at an area that has more natural surface, so it's able to absorb more of the rainfall. Right now, we're going to turn it over to Chris. Chris.
Yeah, and right now, Jen, Storm Tracker Jim Cantori has been talking about there's just a little silver lining in the Northeast, and that is the fact that there has been drought in the Northeast. About half the state of New Jersey has been under a drought watch. We want to get some perspective right now. Joining us via Skype is drought expert and Rutgers University professor David Robinson. Dr. David Robinson, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us. And can you give us an idea, kind of put this into perspective, if this rainfall is going to be enough to pull Jersey out of a drought?
Yeah, that's a good question. It was certainly welcome rain we had overnight in this first shot. We had about 1 to 3 inches statewide, and we had only had 1 to 2 inches for the entire month to date, and August wasn't much better. So there really was a silver lining in this first shot of rain. Of course, we're worried about subsequent rainfall on Friday and then potentially associated with Joaquin later down the road.
And Dr. Robinson, we know there's different levels of drought. There's abnormally dry, you have moderate drought, severe drought, and then you get into extreme and exceptional. They're on the low end. So how serious was the drought? And is this something that, New Jersey could have gotten out of just over a series of storms?
Yeah, we were not in a serious drought as of yet. The reservoirs were a little below normal. Stream flow, groundwater levels were very low. But we had just entered the drought phase. Our Department of Environmental Protection had just issued a drought warning last week, and that's just the first step. Beyond that, you get to warning and emergency. So we were just getting into a hole. It wasn't that deep a hole yet, although we did have 4, 6, 8-inch deficits over the last 90 days in some parts of the state. But we'll do all right if we get back to a normal rainfall pattern.
And Dr. Robinson, you said there's been 4 to 8 inches of deficits. Now, can you erase that drought with an event that gets 4 to 8 inches, or is a lot of that going to translate into runoff and not really go into the system?
You don't even need that much to come out of it. You just need a little bit above average and then get into a normal rainfall pattern. So the one thing we prefer not to have is 6 to 8 inches all at once. Interesting, back in 1999, we had that with Floyd. We were quite dry. Along came Floyd. We flooded out. And then, frankly, in the next couple of years, we went right back into drought. So hopefully this event isn't a one and done, and it will signal a change back to a normal rainfall pattern.
Dr. David Robinson, thank you very much for your insight on the drought and the rain to come. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And now let's go to Andres Rodriguez. She's keeping us ahead of the news with today's headlines.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, everyone at home. Your headlines begin with what's left of a super typhoon. Remnants of Typhoon Dujan are dumping heavy rain on East China and the Korean Peninsula this morning. The storm slammed China with 75-mile-an-hour winds. Earlier, the full fury of the storm left 3 dead in Taiwan and 1 million people without electricity. We head stateside. A big rig flips on Interstate 35 in Oklahoma, unleashing millions of honeybees. Look at this. They trapped the sheriff's deputy inside his cruiser and stung a man who pulled the driver out of the wrecked truck. It took hours to collect the loose bees. And check this perfectly timed picture. A plane scraping its wings on the runway while landing in McAllen, Texas. The pilot put the American Eagle jet down safely. The highest wind gust recorded in McAllen Tuesday, just 24 miles per hour. Those are your headlines for this hour. On the other side of the break, the Southeast has been a gray and soupy mess. But next on AMHQ, we can tell you fall is just around the corner. where there's a cool down.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 90. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Thursday, partly cloudy early. Scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Before you put any engine to bed this winter, don't drain the fuel tank. Top it off with Stayville storage. It keeps fuel fresh. So come spring, your power equipment is ready to go. And your hog won't be a bore.
I've got 2 reasons to take care of my heart. That's why I take Meta.
Meta is clinically proven to help lower cholesterol. Try Meta today. And for a tasty heart-healthy snack, try a Meta Health Bar.
Let's get dressed for cooler weather. Let's get just what we need. Then check out one of these to make this easier to tackle and easier to afford. Then let's insulate. Because the more we bundle up here, the less we need to here. Let's do this. Get AutoCAD insulation for $29.68 plus free machine rental with qualifying purchase. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Fact. Every time you take Advil, you're taking the medicine doctors recommend most for joint pain. More than the medicine in Aleve or Tylenol. The medicine in Advil is the #1 doctor recommendation for joint pain. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
So, last drop of Go-Gurt. Where you living now? A tube. Check this place out. So come on out. Sign the papers in this little gem. It's all yours.
Go-Gurt, whatever it takes to get it all.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls. And you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for Better Car Replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
The Honda For You sales event is happening now, and you could get a great deal on a 2015 Honda Civic. Our best Civic yet was named a KBB.com Best Buy and is the best-selling car in its class. The Civic is also loaded with standard features. So hurry into your Honda dealer today, and you could get a great deal on a 2015 Civic during the Honda For You sales event.
These wings are pretty great, huh?
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, it's a wing ring.
What's a wing ring?
I ask it what kind of wings I should have, and it tells me. Today it said honey barbecue.
I want to ask it a question.
Oh, you know what? I got like 2% battery on this thing.
Well, come on, let me just...
Yeah, I wish I could.
You have battery in a ring?
Yeah, it's like 8 gigs.
That's 2 different things. One is memory and one's battery life.
Cool. All I know is like, no, you can't use it.
Good luck choosing 100% all-white meat boneless chicken wings in 6 delicious flavors. They're buy one, get one free every Monday night. This is how you Sonic.
When is your flu shot more than a flu shot? When it helps give a life-saving vaccine to a child in need in a developing country. Thanks to customers like you, Walgreens Get a Shot, Give a Shot program has helped provide 7 million vaccines. Make your flu shot make a world of difference. Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy.
Welcome back to AMHQ. Right now we have two views for you. A gorgeous one coming out of Chicago. You see the clouds to start off your morning, but the blue sky is going to be coming on strong. You're going to be nice. Notice the camera blowing around a bit because your winds right around 25 miles per hour. It's going to feel like fall. And the other story, Charlotte, you're cloudy, you're warm, but you're going to see those fall-like temperatures working in your direction, but get used to the clouds as well as the rain. So we're going to talk more about this chill in the air and how far south it is going. But for Chicago today, sunshine's going to be out. Today, high of 61 degrees. That's going to be your warmest day over the next couple as we go through the weekend. Notice those numbers are going to be in the 50s. Overnight lows in the 40s. Getting a little chilly out. Certainly, you're going to have to put on some jeans instead of trying to break out those shorts in the last minute. As we look ahead and we show you some of the winds, they're still coming out of the north. This is nice and comfortable. And that northerly flow for areas including St. Louis. As we go through the afternoon, here are your high temperatures for today. We'll say high loosely. As we look ahead and we show you into the afternoon, 61 degrees for Chicago, 62 degrees in Cleveland, and then 63 for Minneapolis. Some 70s down towards the south, but that cooler air, speaking of the south, going even farther. It's moving into parts of Tennessee as well as into Atlanta and Charlotte. Temperatures are going to drop almost 15 degrees below average. We're going to play this number change, and we show you. We pick out the front. You see the cooler air, the blue arrows behind it. Ahead of that, the 80s. Charlotte today, 82 degrees. If you like the warm air, soak up today, because by tomorrow, this is your high of 65 degrees, not your low. Notice for Columbia, 70 degrees. And for Atlanta, you're going to be 11 degrees cooler with a high of 77. As we look ahead for Charlotte, today, 82 degrees. And then comes the 60s and then the 50s. Charlotte, a shock to your system. 58 for the afternoon high, well below average. Right now, we're going to send it over to you, Chris.
And we have seen way too much high water lately, unfortunately, in parts of the Southeast and the Mid-Atlantic. Let's take a look right now on campus here at Virginia Tech. All of the rain, and when you have so much rain in a short amount of time, it doesn't drain. In fact, it almost looks like it's bubbling up there. This is a drill field right here on the campus of Virginia Tech. So let's get some perspective on this. You can see that it's wet, but we're going to go to a professional hydrologist right now. Pete Corrigan, hydrologist with the National Weather Service in Blacksburg, Virginia. Pete, again, thank you very much for joining us again via Skype. We appreciate your insight on this. We talk about what you think is the most remarkable thing that's happened in the past couple of days.
Well, really, rainfall, in a word. The last 5 days, we've seen up to 16 inches of rain now in parts of the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is a pretty incredible amount of rain. And at this point, it obviously caused a lot of flooding yesterday and continuing to today. We are on the downside of the flooding at this point because the runoff is very quick here, but we're looking at what's coming, too.
Yeah, and what's coming, is this the potential or the setup for a disaster with saturated ground, the flooding, possibly just days ahead of some tropical moisture associated with the hurricane?
Well, I mean, that's something we have to definitely consider. We've got forecasts of a lot of rainfall, depending on the track of any predecessor rainfall, and then the track of Joaquin itself. Depending where it goes, somebody's due to get a lot of rain, and if we get it here, we're already completely saturated from some pretty extraordinary rainfall over the past few days.
So what is it? What's the factor? Is it the terrain? Is it the duration? Is it the amount? What worries you the most as we look at Hurricane Joaquin as it gets closer and closer to the U.S.?
Well, for this part of the country, terrain is a huge factor in terms of flooding. We can get some serious flash flooding due to the steep terrain. The runoff can be very intense. And at this point, the ground is now saturated, so we're going to get very efficient runoff from any rain that does occur. Our rivers are essentially full at this point, or very close to full. So we don't have a lot of places to put the water at this point.
Pete, we have about 30 seconds here. What are you going to tell your family and friends in the next couple of days?
Well, obviously, just be prepared and keep an eye on the forecast. We're going to be looking at this thing. Every model run that comes in, we'll be looking at, studying it, looking at our meteorological models, looking at our hydrologic models, and assessing where the main threat area is going to be. But just obviously pay attention to your media outlets and wherever you get your weather information.
All right, Pete Corrigan, again, we appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. Hydrologist there, the National Weather Service office in Blacksburg, Virginia.
Thank you.
And again, Pete just mentioned all of the different models that come in. So the forecast we have right now will likely look different. It'll look different likely tomorrow, likely again tomorrow morning. We fine-tune the details of the forecast, but we do know right now hurricane warning, hurricane watches for the Bahamas, and there is a Category 1 hurricane in the Atlantic right now.
Meet Kyle. You name it. Dust, pollen,
And pet dander.
he's allergic to it.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service to be certified asthma and allergy friendly, eliminating an average of 94% of common household allergens like dust, pollen, and pet dander for a cleaner, healthier home.
Goodbye, Mr. Steamer.
Bye, Kyle.
Call now about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
What's up with this weather, huh?
Today's weather? Well, I'd get things done this morning because we've got some big changes rolling through this afternoon. Jim Cantori has that.
Sam, this is fascinating. Rapidly rising warm, moist air creating this huge cumulonimbus cloud. Oftentimes, the results can be electrifying. Back to you, Sam.
Great job, Jim. That should get you started on your day. So now back to you.
Back to me.
Sam Champion on the Weather Channel. Weather Precise.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 90. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Thursday, partly cloudy early. Scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
$130 yards now. Bill's got a very tough lie here. Looks like we have some sort of sea monster in the water hazard here. I believe that's a kraken, Bruce. It looks like he's going to go with the 9-iron. That may not be enough club. Well, he's definitely going to lose his stroke on this hole.
If you're a golf commentator, you whisper. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
This golf course is electric.
Take any color on a virtual test drive with the Project Color app. Part of a new color experience from the Home Depot. In hand, online, and at the store. Bare Ultra Interior is just $29.98 a gallon. Download the Project Color app. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
I try hard to get a great shape. This I can do easily. New Benefiber Healthy Shape helps curb cravings. It's a clear, taste-free daily supplement that's clinically proven to help keep me fuller longer. New Benefiber Healthy Shape. This I can do.
In commodities, rawhide bones are up while pig ears traded even for the day. Overseas, the French peoples are celebrating Bastille days. And if you're
This kind of weather, all bets are off.
Want a better way to connect with friends and family around the world? Now you can with Xfinity. For the first time ever, you can talk as much as you want to nearly half the world. Call friends and family in countries like Canada, China, India, Mexico, and more, whether you're at home or on the go. You'll also get unlimited nationwide talk and text, so you'll save on your wireless data plan. Start saving with Xfinity Voice from Comcast for just $19.99 a month for 12 months. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit Xfinity.com today.
There's a reason people come here. Because we're more than just a dealership. We're a lifestyle, a name you've trusted for over 30 years. We don't simply get you behind the wheel, we get you in front of the action. So come, discover it, and experience the Brayman Advantage today. Because we're more than a dealership. Welcome to the experience. Welcome to Brayman Motor Cars. You've arrived.
I don't know what that was. It felt huge. Don't move, man.
Well, we are coming up on 50 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to AMHQ. We have two different views for you this morning. We have one coming out of Hopetown, Elbow Bay, that was in Bahamas. There it is. You can see some of the waves. You look in the background, you can see some of Hurricane Joaquin. And then on the right, we have Cape Hatteras.
And here's the thing, two big different stories here,
Right.
but completely different looking cameras. That's a hurricane off in the distance on the left-hand side of your screen.
And
you
it
can
looks
see,
like it on the right
and
side.
it's gorgeous, right, but that's not the case. That's something else right now on the right-hand side of the screen, but both areas do need to be on alert. Let's go to Storm Tracker Jim Cantori right now with the very latest on what has become this morning Hurricane Joaquin.
Hurricane Joaquin hanging out there, working its way toward the southwest. Our friends in the Bahamas are going to have to deal with a hurricane that comes in from a pretty interesting direction from the northeast versus the east or the southeast, which is more typical, and heck, even sometimes from the southwest. But this will be an interesting direction for them. But we do know it's going to move west, southwest, and then begin to make the turn. Once we get up in here towards Saturday evening, then it gets interesting in terms of what the models do with it. But certainly we are going to see something, I think, that's going to intensify in time and build up a phenomenal amount of waves. So let's talk about this. First of all, first couple of visible pictures of the day. It looks like from some of the microwave imagery, if you were to put a circulation center there here, this part of the circulation center, or the eye wall, if you will, is best developed. We're a little dry on the northwest side, so it's not fully developed, but still 75 miles an hour. We saw the pressure this morning that was estimated at 988 go down to about 975 millibars. I mean, we got a player out and through here, and already you can see some of these outer bands with the hurricane that have already impacted parts of the Turks and Caicos and the central Bahamas. So we've already got impacts in through here. Earlier on, we could see what we call these cross-banded cirrus coming off of the storm. Also, a big eyelash in through here. They're perpendicular to the actual CDO, so that tells me we've still got an intensifying storm here. Something we have to watch in time, albeit slow. Don't be surprised to see some more hurricane warnings before we're all said and done. Impacts coming in easily over the next 24 hours for the Bahamas. Hurricane force gusts entirely possible. And of course, the wave buildup is going to be huge. So here's the water vapor. A little shot at that dry air, actually, we see on the north side. That's showing up, and maybe in training a little bit, especially as the circulation continues to intensify. But I don't think overall that it's going to stop this thing. I don't think it's a big player in through here. Wind shear, all you need is a small window, and we got it. All right? We know it's a hostile El Nino year, but we've got a small window of wind shear. Let's take a look at this, though, going forward in time. Interesting, the model does print out little spurts or little bursts of wind shear. I wonder, certainly if that may impact things going forward, but we'll have to wait and see. But look at the model consensus for the most part here as we go through the next, let's say 60 to 72 hours. It's pretty good. And as a matter of fact, even the ensemble mean with the European and the GFS are in agreement Saturday night in that very same area. It is from there that things get interesting. All right? Either way, though, we'll still have problems, I promise. Cat 2, possibly even stronger. Notice, again, as we've seen pretty much all week, kind of a turn back toward the U.S., and that's because of the big high to the north, the low, cutoff low in the southwest. The steering is going to be the weakness, which is going to be in between. So whatever's left of this gets to come back in. Now, the problem is we get a Cat 2 storm or maybe even a 3. Look at the waves we build up in through here. Huge wave action possibility. This is based off the GFS. Now, remember, you got a continental shelf, so you won't see 40 feet on the beach. But think of the problems we have already had on the beaches in through here. They've been enormous. So now you're taking in a weakening beach and even a weakening interior with the rainfall, and which is the second problem with this. And these are our number 1 and number 2 problems. Inland rain and what's going to happen on these beaches coming up, even with the track differences that we have now. We got a lot to watch here, Chris.
Yes, we do, Jim. And let's find out what Anna Riz is watching right now.
Hashtag Joaquin continues to hold on strong to the #1 top trending hashtag on Twitter. The impacts of its tropical moisture, what it could do in Virginia is of concern because of the flooding we've seen already. Look at this picture coming out of Virginia Tech. This is out of Duck Pond. The Duck Pond Road flooded yesterday. It was closed, and they had to reopen it later in the afternoon. But look at all of that water rushing over the road. We head to North Carolina. You had an impressive capture of lightning through the clouds. We love that. And lastly, we leave you in Alaska. Record-breaking snowfall, 11.2 inches at the Fairbanks Airport. Wow. That was like the greatest September record of all time.
What's going on?
Very intense right now.
Oh my God.
Let's black down. This is so cool.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 90. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Thursday, partly cloudy early. Scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Water flowing out the drain.
And that would be one weather situation enough to fill a whole show, but we've got tropics to throw in there as well.
Incredible indeed. We'll be watching it very closely.
All right, a lot to talk about. This is Weather Center Live in the lab on this Wednesday, September 30th. I'm meteorologist Maria LaRosa.
And I'm meteorologist Alex Wallace.
And with us, as always, we have meteorologist Jessica Arnoldy, and we have a lot catching our eye today.
A lot. We have the heavy rain, and we have Joaquin, and regardless of whether it makes landfall, more heavy rain this weekend for the East Coast.
That is going to be huge in so many ways. So we do want to talk about the latest on Joaquin, our newest hurricane issued just a few hours ago. Max winds at 75 miles per hour. But look at that pressure, central pressure at 971 millibars. It's now moving to the southwest at 6 miles per hour, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Bahamas going to be watching that very closely. Already hurricane watches and warnings up for parts of the Bahamas. And then, of course, the question is what happens beyond the Bahamas and the lower 48 and the East Coast. Potential is there.
And you can see an interesting little twist there, making that southwest move before it makes that northward turn. So here's what we know right now. More than 50 million people under a flood threat across the Northeast. Flood and flash flood watches in effect for parts of the southern Appalachians from central Pennsylvania all the way to Maine.
Yeah, flooding, shutting down a building at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. In Virginia, high water shutting down Montgomery County public schools.
All right, let's take a look at what's happening right now, because it has not been an easy morning in a lot of places from the Northeast into New England, and certainly with all the flooding that happened yesterday, places like Virginia, they're still doing cleanup there as well. So here's what we have, the 2-day rainfall, and where you see those streaks of yellow, keep that in mind, all right? So we had anywhere from 2, 3+ inches of rain just in those areas, but look at how widespread those darker shades of green, that's at least an inch of rainfall just in the last 2 days. A lot of that that for some folks came within a few hours. Here's the situation now. We have a cold front pushing through, but with it, that area of low pressure and that surge of incredible moisture right now, you still have dew points in the 70s clear up and through Massachusetts. The heaviest rain still along I-95. You have it towards Portland, Lewiston, but also notice that band of yellow, heavy, steady rain still pushing northward, along with that west to east push following the Massachusetts Pike, Alex. Worcester just beginning to clear out.
I'll tell you, well, the Boston area already hammered with about an inch of rain for you since early this morning. Nearly a half inch of that came in just about an hour's span, making for a pretty rough commute for millions. Well, our Reynolds Wolf, he is on the road and joining us live now just north of Boston. Reynolds, what are you seeing?
We're seeing a lot of rain. Whoa, big truck. We are actually on Route 1 heading south into Boston, just crossed over the Mystic River, and we've got a line of cars on both sides of us and certainly right in front of us. Instead of me telling you, why don't we just show you what we have? Here's the view. Looking at taillights and some cars moving through, but the biggest movement, the biggest story we have for you, Alex, is the rain that is coming down. And a short while ago, you were actually able to see the silhouette of the city of Boston. Not so much now. You see a few buildings here and there, but the biggest thing is that drape, that sheet of rain, which continues just to permeate much of this beautiful city. Rain, not really a welcome sight on this morning commute. We've seen quite a few fender benders. Actually, large truck also we saw a jackknife situation. Ponding on the roadways, that's also been a big issue for a lot of folks. But what's interesting is rush hour. If you look at the clock, rush hour is done. But still, you have all these backups because of the slow and go and the heavy rain. So traffic is inching along. We're going to inch our way into the forecast to show you that rain is going to stay in the picture over the next couple of hours. You're going to see it begin to fade as we get to the late day hours. But take a look at this. The 4-day forecast shows that we get a little bit of a breather for the next couple of days, but then into the weekend, yep, more rain on the way. And keeping in mind on that tropical system is churning way to our south. Could see more of that rain make its way right back up here over the next several days. Keeping a sharp eye on that for you. Alex, let's pitch it back to you, my man.
All right, thank you so much, Reynolds. Stay safe out there. Drive slowly, of course. You know the drill. Well, we're going to be continuing to watch this rainfall here in the Northeast as we put the sort of radar into future mode now. As we get into the afternoon, you can see where the heaviest of the rain is located, mainly up into portions of New England. So we're talking about up into Maine and even down into Massachusetts. Still that chance for some more heavy rain in and around Boston for us, but we should start to see things drying out a bit out there for you as we work in towards our afternoon. So things will be a little bit better out there. But again, heavy rainfall has already been had out there for many. Check out some of the totals. Radar estimated totals getting up around 2 inches in some cases out there for us. So a lot of rain to still go out there in play. Here's what we have in store for us through Thursday. Looking at the rainfall totals, 1 to 2 inches here through the interior, but we could see a second round start to develop here back into the mid-Atlantic, and that is certainly not what we want to see. Maria?
Absolutely not. And we know the damage done already with the incredible rainfall those areas have seen. Let's take a deeper look at the flooding already hitting the Northeast and that incredible video that we're getting in. Flash flooding, this out of Frederick, Maryland overnight. And Alex and Jess, jump in if you guys see anything worth mentioning. But obviously, they're driving through some very high water. And it looks like it's moving. It's fast. And
we here at the Weather Channel always like to show you what to do, but also what not to do.
Yeah. And here's my philosophy. I'm very happy these guys are getting through it, no problem. But let's say best case scenario, you stall out and you get some water damage in your car. I want to save you several hundreds of dollars here, okay? And perhaps even your life. So that's what we want to take away from that. A whopping closing in 5 inches of rain reported yesterday, and they had some river warnings still in effect today. All right, let's take you now to Snowville, Virginia, another area hard hit. And you can see, I'm sure there was a nice little area of flowing water at one point, and now it has expanded and gobbled up territory here and spilling over into roadways, obviously shutting down some areas, picked up water in their homes. 4 inches of rain in and around that area, and they too had water rescues and streets obviously closed because of all that flooding. Working hard, those emergency responders.
All right, well, we've got new this morning. Of course, Hurricane Joaquin now targeting the central Bahamas and beyond.
And as it gets stronger, we need to warn everyone along the east coast of the U.S. to pay close attention.
Hi, Hi.
I need new carpet.
Oh, you're in the right place.
I have 3 kids.
Okay.
Butterfingers, all 3 of them.
Gotcha.
And 2 dogs.
All right.
T-Bone and Spike.
Good names.
And a husband.
Congrats.
We call him Mr. Muddy Boots.
House trained?
My husband?
No, the dogs.
Sometimes.
I'd suggest Stainmaster Pet Protect carpet.
Why?
Incredibly durable and stain resistant.
That's music to my ears.
Wait until your feet hear it.
What?
Wait until your feet hear. Let me just show you.
Yeah.
Purchase Stainmaster Carpet and Pad by 1027 and get basic install by Thanksgiving for free.
I tried Depend last weekend. It really made the difference between a morning around the house and getting a little exercise.
Only Depend underwear has new Confidence Core technology for fast absorption and the smooth, comfortable fit of FitFlex protection. Get a coupon at depend.com.
Happy birthday!
Make a wish!
Very kind. Okay, who wants cake?
She does.
Janet, eat the cake.
Get your flu shot at Rite Aid today, because your coworkers didn't. And with every flu shot, you'll get a free cold and flu protection plan to help you all season long.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you get 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get no interest and paid in full within 12 months on your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
I don't know what that was. It felt huge. Don't move, man.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 90. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Thursday, partly cloudy early. Scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Science isn't fun.
3 scientists walk into a bar. Bottoms up October 4th on the Weather Channel.
Let's do fall. Let's turn bright reds, crisp yellows, and plenty of orange into a much cooler yard. Let's do this. Get the power of gas with this cordless Ego blower, just $179. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls, and you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for better car replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
The Honda for You sales event is happening now, and you could get a great deal on a 2015 Honda Accord. The Accord is the best-selling midsize car in America, which makes sense because it's also the best value. And the Accord is loaded with standard features. So hurry into your Honda dealer today, and you could get a great deal on a 2015 Accord during the Honda for You sales event.
Let's say hello to Portland, Maine. Right now, it is not looking too pretty. Heavy rain rocking the city. Active flood watch in effect through Thursday morning. Talking about as much as 5 inches of rain expected to fall. So quite a bit of a soaker here for us across Maine and a good chunk of New England dealing with some of this heavy rain. We'll eventually see it move out, but then the potential for more to sneak its way right back on in. So let's focus in on what we are anticipating. This is today's forecast. Again, more of that rain, the Bangor area back down to Boston. Even New York could still be dealing with some showers and a storm or two that sneaks in. DC for you, I think today will be a quiet day, although don't expect to see too much sunshine. It's a cloudy time. Tomorrow now, we dry out in New England. But now the flip side is we bring in the chance for showers back into the mid-Atlantic. And you can see as we move into the weekend, more rain and potential wind. And this is going to be highly dependent on what is happening with our tropical system Joaquin. Again, we are expecting wind and rain to impact us in the mid-Atlantic. A little quieter, at least on Sunday, in far northern New England. Maria?
All right, we're going to stay in that region, Alex, and talk about New England. We're timing out this rain, this flood threat, especially as we head into the evening rush hour. For more, we want to take a look and see just what a mess it has been. The heavy rainfall. Boston area certainly feeling the brunt of it. Starting to see the back edge of that heaviest rain try and push eastward. Worcester, you're starting to get that back edge through. You go a few more hours perhaps as we get into Boston. But Alex, as we know, the damage has been done for the morning rush. So yeah, we want to focus on that evening rush.
We certainly do. And of course, timing it all out for you here. Let's talk about bringing in Glenn Field from the National Weather Service in Taunton, Massachusetts, which covers Boston. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Alex and Maria.
All right, first question. I know you guys have a lot on your plates over the next few days, but let's talk about what's happening right now. What's the current situation? What kind of reports are you getting in, and what does this mean for the flash flooding and the flood alerts you have issued?
Actually, it's a little difficult to hear you with the heavy rain on our roof right here, actually. But we are having the majority of the heavy rain is starting to move out. That's the good news for now, but we've had an awful lot of rain. As forecast, we've had about 4.5 to 5 inches of rain so far out in the northwest part of Massachusetts. And that has caused some flooding of streets and some of the T tracks being flooded temporarily and things like that. But we've been very low. The river levels have been low, so we haven't had any river flooding per se, but a lot of street flooding at this point. We also want to mention that it's getting pretty windy. We have south winds that were gusting to 54 miles an hour now on the south coast, 48 miles an hour in Warwick, Rhode Island, and that is coming at the time of high tide, which is right about now. And we've seen a little bit of minor coastal flooding and splash over in Fairhaven and Dartmouth down on the south coast. The winds are out of the south, so it's not a northeast wind coastal flooding now. So it's affecting the south coast, but just minor at this point.
Now, Glenn, when are you anticipating all this to head out, and do you expect more to move back in?
Right. So we're going to be having scattered showers the rest of the day once this main area moves out, and we are expecting a bit of a lull tomorrow, but the front stalls along the south coast, and we'll start to see rain come back northward, and maybe even getting into some heavy rain again Friday. And that's not from Joaquin. That's actually our strong northeast winds, and it's going to be a cold, raw day with temperatures hardly getting out of the 40s to the lower 50s on Friday.
And Glenn, we're looking at that forecast right now, and I know you guys are going to be on top of whatever Joaquin brings. Glenn Field with the National Weather Service out of Taunton, Massachusetts. Thank you so much for your time. It looks like that may be a little bit better for the evening rush tonight.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
All right, we are going to continue to track now Hurricane Joaquin.
I've been a poor man and I've been a king. I've had my life and the world on a string. I've traveled many roads, but I'm so far from done. Good to know there's so much to live for.
Hello? It's Dr. Moreno's office. Can you come in to talk about your biopsy results and bring someone with you?
Sign up for the walk and raise money so no one has to walk alone.
Remember when you said men are superior drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then how'd I get this
Allstate Safe Driving bonus check?
Who's that?
so weird, right? My agent Tom said,
Only Allstate sends you a bonus check for every 6 months you're accident-free.
but I'm a woman. Maybe it's a misprint. Does it look like a misprint?
Okay, let's try. Silence. Ask an Allstate agent about the Safe Driving bonus check. Are you in good hands?
Irresistible moments deserve Irresistible's treats. New from Meow Mix, with real salmon, chicken, or tuna. The only treat cats ask for by name.
You remember Uncle Pete? Yeah.
Don't let their cute little fingers fool you.
Hey, buddy, how you been? Good to see you.
They're quick.
Oh, yeah, yo.
They're strong.
That is so funny.
They're ruthless.
Oh.
They have their bag of tricks.
Oh.
Gentle breeding.
But so do you. A free 12-month guarantee. Find the look you love starting from $38. If they break, get them replaced with a complete new pair. So you're covered when adorable strikes again.
I don't know what that was. It felt huge. Don't move, man.
Wherever you go, your favorite shows and movies should go with you. With Xfinity, you can take all of your DVR shows to go.
So I don't have to wait till I get home.
That's right.
Now you can watch your favorites anywhere.
Which should be super handy.
Let's say you want to watch your favorite shows in the park.
Lovely day.
Watching people exercise.
Or you could be at the beach.
Oh. Man, this is awesome.
Xfinity is perfect for people on the go. Upgrade to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play from Comcast and save when you bundle. See for yourself. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit Xfinity.com today.
Square's always been straight up. They say, hey, this is what we're charging, and that's it. It's like a handshake. American Express, MasterCard, Visa. Regardless of the credit card, the fee is the same across the board. The money's there right away. The money's there. Square has been a big part of helping the barbershop club go to the next level and mature in many ways. We're in it for the long haul.
Accept all major credit cards with Square and get your money fast. Get your free card reader at square.com.
This kind of weather, all bets are off.
What's the word on Weather Underground?
Drum roll.
The weather geeks have weighed in and boom. They geekin' love it.
Weather Underground, my friend.
Hopefully you learned something with that.
I'm a weather geek for life.
Join in on the fun. Weather Underground, Geek Nights at 6 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 90. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Thursday, partly cloudy early. Scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Minutes past the hour, just incredible flooding coming in from the Florida Panhandle yesterday. This was in Walton County. The Alacqua Creek spilling over its banks and rushing water into those surrounding neighborhoods after 5 to 6 inches of rain fell late on Monday, also prompting multiple water rescues, cars to stall in high water. And yeah, I mean, you see the boat there and you're thinking, okay, there's supposed to be water there, but obviously maybe not so much here. There you have a car. And it is moving very swiftly. Always a word of caution. I'm sure he knows what he's doing, but when you get these unknown currents and it's overspreading into roadways, you don't know what's under there, folks. You don't know what's in there, what has spilled in there. So please don't make our emergency responders work any harder than they have to. Just sit tight in conditions like this. All right, obviously with the southeast waterlogged at this point, you have dew points into the 70s. It feels tropical. All you need is a little bit to get it going, right? So today we still have chances for some showers here in the southeast, especially as you head towards the coast. You've got Raleigh and Charleston with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Atlanta, you're kind of socked in with some of the cloud cover still. still. So you may see a few spots of sunshine. Don't count on a ton. If you want the sun, head out further west. New Orleans and Memphis as we get in through tomorrow, looking pretty good. Let's give you an idea of the weekend, of course, with the tropical system Joaquin kind of in play at this point. The mid-Atlantic, you know, North Carolina, South Carolina is going to be pretty interesting. One place to watch closely, but it does look actually, Alex, much better as you get into Florida at that point, which is great news considering all the flooding that they've had the last few days.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. So let's focus in on what's happening with Joaquin. Here's the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center, at least the 8 o'clock advisory. Those winds sustained at about 75 miles per hour, central pressure at 971. Movement to the southwest at 6 miles per hour. So it's moving closer and closer to the Bahamas. That's why there are hurricane watches and even some warnings that are up there for the Bahama Islands. Now, the hurricane hunters have been flying on through the system, starting to make their way out. But at a point about an hour or so ago, we were talking about capturing winds close to tropical storm force. But again, they're moving well away from the center of the circulation. So not a whole lot of wind that they're seeing right now. So where is this thing headed? Well, here's the projected path. And as we head through time, again, southwest movement towards the Bahamas. And then as we start to move towards Friday, pretty sharp turn towards the north and northeast. Strengthening, though, as well. We're talking by Friday early morning, potentially 105 mile per hour winds there. So could be a significant storm. And then you can see a little bit more of a curve towards the north and the east. But we want to focus in, not necessarily focus in on the actual cone and where it's going to be heading in west and east, because the center of this thing, it really doesn't matter. We're going to see some impacts here for us on the east coast, if it's there or if it's there. It's just a matter of how big those impacts will be. And of course, those models, Maria, oh my goodness, they're all over the place.
They really are. And we have a couple things going for us at this point, is that we're locking in on that center of Joaquin, which will be better information for the future models. But just to give you an idea of what it's been like watching these models over the last few days, let's start with Monday night, okay? And you have what seems to be general consensus somewhere between like a North Carolina, Connecticut solution, but still some uncertainty. Then you get into Tuesday morning, and now you have some serious outliers here that want to make Joaquin turn to the right, maybe towards Bermuda, but you still, once again, have a cluster around the mid-Atlantic and into the northeast. And then Tuesday afternoon, it's kind of like all bets are off and it's everywhere. You have this one that's way out there, and then you have the center anywhere from Rhode Island to South Carolina. Now, as we get into Tuesday night and eventually into this morning, you do see the models begin to lock in on something a little bit more solid towards the mid-Atlantic. But look at this picture. This is a great idea of what it really takes to forecast a track of a tropical system. You have lots of players, each spin influencing another spin. So you have a cutoff low in the southeast, you have a blocking high in the Atlantic. What we're looking at right now is, yes, a southwestward jog, and then eventually that turn to the north. So a lot to look at. We'll be here.
It takes a lot of work to run this business, but I really love it. I'm on the move all day long, and sometimes I just don't eat the way I should. So I drink Boost to get the nutrition that I'm missing.
Boost Complete Nutritional Drink has 26 essential vitamins and minerals, including calcium and vitamin D to support strong bones, and 10 grams of protein to help maintain muscle, all with a great taste.
I don't plan on slowing down anytime soon.
Stay strong, stay active with Boost.
These wings are pretty great, huh?
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, it's a wing ring.
What's a wing ring?
I ask it what kind of wings I should have, and it tells me. Today it said honey barbecue.
I want to ask it a question.
Oh, you know what? I got like 2% battery on this thing.
Come on, let me just...
Yeah, I wish I could.
You have battery in a ring?
Yeah, it's like 8 gigs.
That's two different things. One is memory and one's battery life.
Cool. All I know is like, no, you can't use it.
Good luck choosing 100% all-white meat boneless chicken wings in 6 delicious flavors. Or buy one, get one free every Monday night. This is How You Sonic.
I love you. Love you too.
One minute. We need to do this, yes. Be good.
Letting go.
I'll say a word.
It's a little easier when you've saved for college with State Farm.
Meet Kyle. You name it. Dust, pollen,
And pet dander.
he's allergic to it.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service to be certified asthma and allergy friendly, eliminating an average of 94% of common household allergens like dust, pollen, and pet dander for a cleaner, healthier home.
Goodbye, Mr. Steamer.
Bye, Kyle.
Call now about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
How about over there?
What does it mean to have an unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz? What does it mean to drive as far as you want for up to 3 years and be covered? It means your odometer is there to record the memories. During the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales event, now through September 30th, you'll get complimentary prepaid maintenance and receive your first 2 months' payments on us, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Gentlemen prefer quality over quantity, but at Joseph A. Bank, you get both. Buy 1, get 3 free on a huge selection of blazers, suits, and sport coats. Choose your fit, slim, traditional, or big and tall, only at Joseph A. Bank.
Let's do installation. Let's check out one of these to make this easier to tackle. Because the more we bundle up here, the less we need to here. Let's do this. Get AutoCAD installation for just $29.68. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
The President's Cup, Day 1, next Wednesday, live on Golf Channel.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 90. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Thursday, partly cloudy early. Scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Stunning video out of Virginia. Heavy rain and flooding prompting engineers to release water from the Little River Dam yesterday. This was in Radford City, just outside Blacksburg.
Hey, parts of that area picking up over 2 inches of rain yesterday, leading to widespread flash flooding, road closures, and water rescues. Well, thanks so much for staying with us here on Weather Center Live. I'm meteorologist Alex Wallace.
And I'm meteorologist Maria LaRosa. Also joining us is WSI senior meteorologist Dan Leonard. And Dan, what can we not talk about here? I mean, this pattern, everything's influencing the next thing.
Yeah, I like that the map you just showed, Maria. That was interesting how you had all these different little features affecting the ultimate path of Joaquin. So let's talk about that coming up. What the big players are in the pattern that will steer Joaquin and eventually influence the pattern, not just for the East Coast with the ultimate impact of the hurricane, but the rest of the country and how Joaquin will play into that overall pattern.
It's really fascinating, Dan. Looking forward to that. And if I had sleeves, I'd be rolling them up right now because we have to dig deep into this. This is pretty interesting. But here's what we know right now. More than 50 million people under flood threat across the Northeast. State police in New Hampshire reporting hydroplaning accidents and scattered power outages, with rainfall totals already approaching 4 inches in Keene this morning.
Wow, and flooding shutting down a building at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center there in Greenbelt, Maryland.
All right, it is Webcam Wednesday, and we're going to be focusing on the Northeast as they deal with all that rain and flooding. And I have an idea of what most of the cameras are going to be looking like this morning.
Not very pretty.
Not very pretty. A lot of gray and probably misty. So let's give you a little tour. This is a great way for, I know, everyone to get a taste of really what it's like out there without actually having to go out. This is a look at New York. You wouldn't know because those low clouds are chopping the tops of the buildings off right now. This out of New York Harbor.
I said it wouldn't be pretty, but it is pretty.
It's cool.
Okay,
right?
That's a better word. It's cool from a meteorological standpoint, but not fun if you're in it, right?
Not fun at all. It is so humid right now. You have dew points into the 70s. The good news is you're going to get those dew points in the 50s soon enough. So it's going to feel like a whole new air mass in the next 24 hours as some of that front gets through there. All right, let's take you to now Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Also gray, a little misty, and obviously rain. Heavy at times has been coming through Massachusetts, New England. It's beginning to roll out, but here too, some flooding concerns. Obviously not the best of beach days at all. Waiting for that little bit of a breather coming later.
You can see the winds were kicking up too. Wow, the
absolutely.
trees
Look at those
around.
trees, right? All right, let's take you now down the shore, Atlantic City. Somewhere down there, Alex.
Where is it?
But you can see the rough surf. Now, again, the heavy rain and the situation there, it would be one thing if it's on its own, but this is after a weekend of coastal flooding. So certainly those areas keeping a close eye on all that is happening. All right, let's get you now what's happening right now, because if you're ready to step outside, maybe for the lunch hour, or even thinking about the evening rush already, we have a lot going into the next few hours. So we're going to start in that northeast situation here, and love this because there you have the front just about ready to come through a lot of those areas. Southerly winds out ahead of it. You have some of the drier surface air trying to work in with those dew points in the 70s, the 50s, and the 40s will feel great by tomorrow. But in the meantime, look at this band of heavy rain, and it is making a beeline to that I-95 corridor. So Boston is not out of it yet, Portland, Lewiston, and look at this area of yellow and how many hours it's been like that. So still some heavy rain. Watch out for those flash flooding. There's already flash flood watches posted across the region. Areas that have started to clear out, you have Worcester, you have Springfield, Providence, you have just a little bit more to go, and when it goes, it is going to be heavy, heavy, heavy. So if you can hold off on any driving right now, maybe for that lunch hour, bag it if you have to and keep it inside. The issue going forward is, yes, places in New England that are dealing with the heavy rain now going to get a break, but the rain through Thursday, you still have a lot of areas that could be picking up an additional 1 to 2 inches, and that is stopping short, Alex, of any tropical situation we're looking at heading into the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. All eyes, no doubt about it, on our Hurricane Joaquin. That's right, Hurricane Joaquin, the latest advisory, the 8 o'clock advisory from the National Hurricane Center, and we'll be getting another one within the next half an hour or so, so we'll get an update. But that last one had 75-mile-per-hour winds and movement to the southwest at 6 miles per hour. So that southwest movement taking it closer and closer to the Bahamas, where we have hurricane watches and warnings that are actually up. So here's the projected path of Joaquin to the southwest, but then a pretty sharp turn towards the north and northeast, and strengthening as it does so Saturday early morning, even though it's well out here in the open waters. 110-mile-per-hour sustained winds there, and we'll certainly see waves being generated and kicking up along the coast. And then as we head towards the sort of early part of next week, now where does it go? Does it go towards the coast, or does it go a little bit farther out to sea? Yet to be determined. A lot to track.
You know, and it's all related, right? It's all connected. One thing's influencing another. So we want to dive deeper. A lot of factors to consider when forecasting this hurricane. Let's go inside weather now with WSI senior meteorologist Dan Leonard on just how difficult this is, because Dan, when you look at a map like we were showing earlier, all of the players, it's complicated, would be an understatement.
Yeah, just so many moving parts, Maria, and you think it would be as simple as just trying to figure out the short-term track of Joaquin, and then you sort of say, okay, here's low pressure, here's high pressure, but there's so many moving players. It's almost like the gears in a clock, and if you change one gear ever so slightly, that's going to have a huge impact downstream. And there's a lot of talented meteorologists here behind me in the WSI operations area, and we were all sort of battling this out this morning, trying to figure out which of these components sort of plays the most important factor. And we can look at the upper level low east of Nova Scotia. We can talk about the remnants of Ida. There's just a lot of different factors at play here. And if the computer models fail just a little bit on one of these features, that will ultimately impact the direction of Joaquin long term. So we have a long way to go here, a lot to figure out over the next few days.
Now, Dan, you mentioned so many different players out there. Now, do the computer models, do either of them have better handles on some of those different features?
Yeah, interesting question, because here's the irony. Right now, just about every computer model is suggesting some sort of an East Coast hit, right? We have a lot from the GFS to the UK model. They're all sort of suggesting a curve back, Sandy style. I don't want to make a strong comparison to Sandy here, but it is very Sandy-esque, where we take a system down near the Bahamas and hook it back in on the mid-Atlantic. And there's a lot of models right now that show that. The irony here is that the one model that showed the Sandy hit long in advance, the ECMWF, the European model, is actually the one model that's out to sea right now with Joaquin. So it's a really interesting dichotomy right now. We have pretty much every model suggesting some sort of an East Coast influence except the ECMWF model, which is the exact opposite of what we had back in the Sandy storm. So it'll be really interesting to see how it plays out here. A lot of meteorologists love to use the ECMWF because technically speaking it does have the highest skill scores, but it is also suggesting the most eastern track. And then all the other models, which theoretically don't have as good as skill scores as the European, suggest an East Coast hit. So it's one of these, which ones do you take? Do you take the outlier that's the most skillful, or do you take the ones that are all sort of agreeing on some sort of an East Coast impact that are slightly less skillful than the one European model?
I think, Dan, you know, when we look at those spaghetti models, we think back to Erica, right, where we didn't have quite that handle on the initialization. Do you think that the fact that we have such a solid grip on the center, that's going to make a difference in the next few hours and those runs that are coming out next?
I think so. And remember, the problem with Erica, Maria, is that we were sort of initializing the storm too far north every single time. Remember, it kept jogging south, and then eventually it went through Hispaniola and got torn to shreds, and then all the models ended up being wrong because they were too far north on their track. This time around, we got a lot more room to play with. We don't have a big island to work with that could theoretically disrupt the circulation center. So right now, I'd say that the center, initializing the center isn't so important. It's really all the upper level features that we showed earlier that will sort of have a bigger impact on the ultimate track of Joaquin.
All right, great discussion as always. Dan Leonard, Senior Meteorologist at WSI. Thank you, sir.
All right, heavy downpours slamming the mid-Atlantic. We got record rainfall blanketing Southwest Virginia.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 90. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Thursday, partly cloudy early. Scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Take any color on a virtual test drive with the Project Color app, part of a new color experience from the Home Depot. In hand, online, and at the store. Bare Ultra Interior, just $29.98 a gallon. Download the Project Color app. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
What do you think?
I can see you and me walking hand in hand through the park.
Good morning.
In the park.
Attention shoppers, there's a lost couple in the men's department.
There's a great big unkhaki world out there. Explore it in a Subaru Crosstrek. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you get 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get no interest and paid in full within 12 months on your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
Here comes Nancy.
Wow, she's sure making a splash in that designer dress.
And with a thicker, more fabulous formula. She's not splashing.
You can wear anything and pour bleach.
And her whiter white's just dazzling.
Clorox Splashless Bleach.
Also try new crystals and packs.
You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do? Drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
With Liberty Mutual new car replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Jobs.
It's time.
From the writer of The Social Network.
The board believes you're no longer necessary to Apple.
I bled that night, and I don't bleed. And the director of Slumdog Millionaire.
I invented the future. What's your resume?
Comes the movie you can't ignore. I'm not okay losing.
It's happening. Steve Jobs is returning to Apple.
A comeback of a superstar.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Jobs.
Rated R. In select theaters October 9th.
I take Prilosec OTC each morning for my frequent heartburn. Because you can't beat zero heartburn. Ah, the sweet taste of victory.
Prilosec OTC. 1 pill each morning, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
What's going on? Toaster's broken.
Which means no Eggo waffles.
What's that sound?
Did you leave your hairdryer running?
No.
Something smells delicious.
How can something smell delicious when the toaster's broken?
I smell sausage, egg, cheese, and
Eggo. Lego my Eggo breakfast sandwich.
The Eggo breakfast sandwich.
But the toaster's broken.
It's sweet, it's savory, it's in your microwave.
Lego my Eggo breakfast sandwich.
What makes Thermacare different? 2 words. It heals. How? With heat. Unlike creams and rubs that mask the pain, Thermacare has patented heat cells that penetrate deep to increase circulation and accelerate healing. Let's review. Heat plus relief plus healing equals Thermacare. The proof that it heals is you.
Make a wish.
Who wants cake?
she does. Get your flu shot at Rite Aid today because your coworkers didn't.
Time is running out to enjoy buy one, take one at Olive Garden. Tonight, enjoy breadsticks, salad, and your choice of irresistible entrees. Then take home another entree for tomorrow free. Buy one, take one starts at $12.99. Hurry in, offer ends Sunday at Olive Garden.
Okay, what is this?
It's chewy.
Really icy.
Whoa, that's intense. It just hits you.
It's gum.
No, it's totally a mint. It's disappearing as I'm chewing it. Where did it go?
It's not a gum, not a mint. It's a totally new cool. New Icebreakers Cool Blasts.
Oh, she looks upset. Should I say something? Or should I just keep looking at my phone?
Gracias.
Kleenex. Someone needs one.
43 minutes past the hour. Well, hey, gorgeous. Hi to Chicago. Windy City finally starting to get that fall crisp in the air. Highs only topping out into the low 60s today and getting into the 50s by the weekend. For the Cubs, it'll be chilly for their first playoff game in 7 years. Next week. That's amazing. I know the town's excited, but look at that camera shaking. So, you know, wind's an issue. It's going to feel a little blustery, so maybe that 60s feeling a little bit cooler than the actual 60s. I'm not calling it wind chill, but just put it out there. So we give you the outlook, and you can see wall-to-wall sunshine just about. Minneapolis, 63. You've got Chicago into the low 60s. Detroit, 66. Indianapolis, 71. Really a picture-perfect fall afternoon. Then tomorrow, you shave a few degrees off. Chicago, 59 for your high temperature. Sun and clouds, but really beautiful from Des Moines into Minneapolis. And really, these are the perfect conditions to continue to be ideal for the changing of the colors on the leaves. Already seeing some patchy to near peak color in parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin. So you see Saturday to Sunday, Northern Plains, Midwest, Minneapolis looking dry. You start to see some of those showers sneak back in from Traverse City, Detroit, Indianapolis, and Chicago Saturday into Sunday, Alex.
All right, Maria. Yeah, you mentioned it. Cool indeed. Chicago, you saw the pretty picture there, the wind whipping around, and certainly looked like fall. And it's going to feel like it. Average high in Chicago, 69 degrees. Well, look at the next several days. Nowhere near that. In fact, we continue to drop a bit into the mid-50s as we slide into the weekend. So if you've been waiting for this fall feel, here it is in Chi-Town. And it's not just Chicagoland. Talking a good chunk of the Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley as our cold front continues to sink towards the south and the east. Behind that, we can expect temperatures to be anywhere from 5 to 15 degrees below average. It's going to feel nice for many of us. Now, the problem for many in the southern tier is the fact that even though it's going to cool down, it's going to be sort of gray and wet. So not so bright in those areas like the ATL, where you'll be tomorrow in the upper 60s. But again, clouds and a bit of rain. We'll see that continuing into Virginia around Roanoke. 54 degrees. That's the high for the day. 20 degrees below average. So a very cool time expected there. with the rain. Same in the northeast. We've got a few holdouts here for us today with above average readings, but that changes quite a bit. New York and D.C. into the lower 60s as we head on into tomorrow. And then by Friday, as we end things off for the week, everyone's in the 50s, well below average, and unfortunately all of us will be dealing with the gray skies and more rain.
Yeah, and that's the key, right? More rain. Flash flood watch is in effect for 8 states right now. The watch for Frederick, Maryland expired earlier this morning, but they are still dealing with a lot of water. Nearly 5 inches of rain reported yesterday, flooding streets. I'm sure a lot of basements too. Those streets, though, prompting multiple water rescues in through the mid-Atlantic. So we want to kind of talk about the difference between flash flooding, say, in an urban area versus a more rural area where there's more ground versus concrete. Okay, so you have the flood threat significantly increasing in urban areas, and here's why. And I think a lot of it is intuitive, right? So if you have surfaces that are just made for running off, there's no absorption whatsoever, you know that it can be an issue. So when you look at those conditions that are in play and you have the runoff in through the concrete, some of that, most of that begins to run off, whereas in grass area, you don't see that runoff. I'm not sure why. Oh, I think I fast forward through all of it, so I apologize. But the ground can only about 10% runoff compared to, say, 50% runoff in those urban areas. Now imagine, even in the areas that have a lot of grass and a lot of dirt can absorb, you have one heavy rain event after another, even that begins to have more runoff than anything.
Exactly. So all things equal, you want to necessarily be in the concrete areas, you want to be in the more rural spots to avoid the big time flooding.
Exactly.
All right, well, Joaquin, now a hurricane in the Atlantic.
And hurricane watches and warnings already up in the Bahamas. Nassau, just one of the several popular vacation destinations on alert.
I've been a poor man and I've been a king. I've had my life and the world on a string. I've traveled many roads, but I'm so far from done. Good to know there's so much to live for.
Take a look at these barbecue trophies. Best cracked pepper sauce. Most ribs eaten while calf roping.
Yep. Greatness deserves recognition. You got any trophies, cowboy?
Yeah, well, there's this one.
Best insurance mobile app.
Yeah, 2 years in a row.
Well, Alvin, does that thing just follow you around?
Like a little puppy.
The award-winning Geico app. Download it today.
Available now on the Weather Channel on demand. For millions of years, weather has shaped our world. But weather also created...
What is that?
...something else.
This weather adds to an incredible biodiversity. Do not move.
Find new episodes of Natural Born Monsters in your on-demand menu before they air Mondays at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 90. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Thursday, partly cloudy early. Scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Heartburn comes creeping up on you. Fight back with relief so smooth and fast. Tums Smoothies starts dissolving the instant it touches your tongue and neutralizes stomach acid at the source. Smoothies, only from Tums.
Why do so many people choose Aleve? It's the brand more doctors recommend for minor arthritis pain. Plus, just 2 Aleve can last all day. You'd need 6 Tylenol arthritis to do that. Aleve, all day strong.
Doers. They don't worry if something's possible. They just do it. At Sears Optical, we're committed to bringing them eyewear that works as hard as they do. Right now, buy 1 pair and get another free. Quality eyewear for doers. Sears Optical.
Hi.
Hi.
I need new carpet.
Oh, you're in the right place.
I have 3 kids.
Okay.
Butterfingers, all 3 of them.
Gotcha.
And 2 dogs.
All right.
T-Bone and Spike.
Good names.
And a husband.
Congrats.
We call him Mr. Muddy Boots.
House trained?
My husband?
No, the dogs.
Sometimes.
I'd suggest Stainmaster Pet Protect carpet.
Why?
Incredibly durable and stain resistant.
That's music to my ears.
Wait until your feet hear it.
What?
Wait until your feet hear. Let me just show you.
Yeah.
Purchase Stainmaster Carpet and Pad by 1027 and get basic install by Thanksgiving for free.
Hello? It's Dr. Moreno's office. Can you come in to talk about your biopsy results and bring someone with you?
Sign up for the walk and raise money so no one has to walk alone.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tires she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier Tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier Tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
You both have a perfect driving record.
Perfect.
Tickets, no accidents.
That is until one of you clips a food truck, ruining your perfect record.
Yeah.
Now, you would think your insurance company would cut you some slack, right?
No, your insurance rates go through the roof. Your perfect record doesn't get you anything.
Anything.
Perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. And if you do have an accident, our claim centers are available to assist you 24/7. For a free quote, call Liberty Mutual at 1-888-631-2145. Switch to Liberty Mutual and you could save up to $509. Call today at 1-888-631-2145. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
The website below.
We're geeking out on what's happening in weather, how it happens, and why it's so freaking cool.
Weather Underground, weeknights at 6 on the Weather Channel.
Well, good morning to you, Phoenix. Expecting sunny and hot conditions. How about a high of 107 degrees, which would tie the record for today. Of course, Phoenix no stranger to hundreds, but our average at this time of the year, the mid-90s. So even for you there in the Phoenix area, it is going to be a rather warm and hot time to deal with there. That's what we deal with in the Southwest. Let's talk about some of the other areas. Also going to be hot. Vegas, 103 expected there for you. LA getting into the upper 80s. Good bit of sunshine. Could see some showers, though, impacting us there in and around San Francisco. Nothing heavy, but some sprinkles to deal with. And then by tomorrow, we'll watch that activity shift a little bit farther on off towards the east. So Reno, you'll be a spot that could be even dealing with a few rumbles of thunder. Once we get to the weekend, Saturday, just about everyone is dry now from Reno to San Fran, back down towards Tucson, and not as hot. We don't see those hundreds showing up out there. We'll actually see the temperatures coming down a bit more moisture to deal with as we head through our Sunday. So now we have a chance for seeing some showers getting back into the picture here across portions of the Four Corners. Even Southern Cal can't rule out a few sprinkles there. Maria?
All right, all eyes on the East Coast here too, because we have our newest hurricane, but a lot to talk about also in the tropical update and how all of this will be impacting what we're watching over the next few days. Let's show you the wide picture of the tropics and all the things that we are keeping an eye on. You have Tropical Depression Marty slowly moving off to the west off the Mexican coast there. You have Invest 90L, which is remnants also of Ida, but obviously this is going to be our main focus. We've had the 11 a.m. update come in, and so we have the latest information. Slightly stronger Hurricane Joaquin, now winds up to 80 miles per hour from the 75 as of the last update. And you see very low central pressure, 971 millibars. Okay, so you look at that, and sometimes if you have something deepening, that low deepening, the winds will eventually follow that strengthening. So moving still to the southwest at 6 miles per hour, one of those interesting features of this system as well. It's now 250 miles east-northeast of the central Bahamas. A couple things to note here over the last several hours. What you're looking at here is the visible satellite picture. And before, we had a lot of the convection, a lot of the storminess to the east. And now you start to see a little bit of the storminess begin to fill in around the center of low pressure. And in fact, it looks like you're trying to pick up a little bit of an eye feature there, at least on the visible, where the hurricane reconnaissance noted that already and called it a closed low circulation. Going into the next few days, we look at shear, whether or not that's going to help intensification or weaken it a bit. Well, Joaquin is going to be in an area of relatively low shear, and for a tropical system that will help it strengthen a little bit, or at least not tear it apart. And you can see that's going to be the case through the next 24 hours. So some strengthening is expected, and then of course, Alex, beyond that, we have a little, uncertainty with the track, but it does look like shear may play a little bit of a bigger role there, keeping it at bay a little bit.
Yeah, we've got a ways to go to track this thing, and there's just so many different things that we're following out there. There's water vapor imagery. There it is showing up here for you. There's Joaquin. You still have what's left of the remnants of Ida hanging out. The big blocking high just to the north, really one of the factors which is going to help prevent this thing from just shooting its way northward, at least in terms of Joaquin and what happens with it. So again, this system, as we work our way through the next several days, has a lot of sort of traps and things to have to maneuver around. Cut off low here in the southeast. That may try to steer it a bit. Again, there's our blocking high, and there is Joaquin continuing to work its way closer towards the Bahamas. So what are the computer models doing as they try to sort of pick up on all of those different features and players that are out there? Well, there they go. There's a little bit of a cluster here, an agreement as it moves northward and then curving back towards the east coast. But we do have some outliers, or at least one outlier that is in place. Let's focus in on the USGFS computer model and where it takes Joaquin. There's your timestamp heading through tomorrow, moving its way northward and then continuing to do so and then make its way towards the mid-Atlantic coast. But at the very same time on Sunday, we're talking about the European model having it a few hundred miles to the east. And you certainly don't need me to tell you that's going to make a big difference on what we see, Maria.
All right, we're going to take all of that and give you the latest forecast track. Plus, tens of millions of people under dangerous flood threat. Already heavy rain soaking the east coast. We're going to take you there coming up in 60 seconds.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 90. Tonight, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 75. Thursday, partly cloudy early. Scattered thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Flowing out the drain.
that's been the last few days in the mid-Atlantic, but Alex, we've got areas in northeast New England looking at scenes like that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a soaker for many on the East Coast.
Yeah, and this is Weather Center Live in the lab on this Wednesday, September 30th. I'm meteorologist Maria LaRosa.
And I'm meteorologist Alex Wallace.
And with us, as always, we have meteorologist Jessica Arnoldy. And Jess, we have to talk about Hurricane Joaquin. A little bit stronger now is the latest advisory.
It is a little bit stronger, and it's now forecasted to become a major hurricane. Questions still remain for where it's going to make landfall, if anywhere, but there's going to be some heavy rain along the eastern coast this week.
And that's a big takeaway for sure. All right, Jess. Let's give you the latest on Joaquin. As of the 11 a.m. advisory, we now have an 80-mile-per-hour hurricane, and we continue to see that strengthening potential. And you see here, it is moving to the southwest right now, Alex, at about 6 miles per hour. So it's the Bahamas that are really going to be under the gun the next few.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are the areas under hurricane watches and warnings. So again, those are the areas that will be impacted first, and then the question is, where does it head?
All right, so again, that goes into the scenarios that we are watching, but as Jess mentioned, forecast to be a major hurricane, perhaps as early as Saturday morning. And now, with the updated information, we continue to see everywhere from the North Carolina coast on up into New England here by the end of the weekend into early next week. And as we always say, you can't necessarily focus just on the center of that cone. We have a big area of influence, and so we want everyone to prepare.
Yeah, exactly. Even if this thing stayed on the far right of this track, still we'll be feeling some impacts here on the East Coast.
All right, so we're going to give you the very latest and how specifically you should be preparing too. This is what we know right now. More than 50 million people under flood threat across the Northeast. This is outside of any tropical system, right? Flood and flash flood watches in effect for parts of southern Appalachians in through central Pennsylvania into Maine.
And then near Boston in Lexington, Massachusetts, an early morning semi-truck rollover accident that closed parts of I-95 at exit 31 in the middle of rush hour, and then flooding shutting down a building at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center there in Greenbelt, Maryland.
And we still have a lot of heavy rain happening right now from the Northeast into New England. Let's show you that. It has been a mess of a morning, as we've been talking about, from New York into Boston. Look at the rainfall totals of the last 2 days, and that really tells you the story. All that flooding video that we had out of Virginia, the D.C. metro area, as much as 4 or 5 inches of rain in a lot of spots. That's the other kind of big takeaway, just how widespread the heavy rain has been. Here's the player right now. It's that cold front, and it's trying to make its way through. Still dew point in the 70s out ahead of it, into the 50s behind it, but still heavy rain producer, Green and White Mountains right now, up 95, trying to clear the Boston metro area, so it does bode better for you for the evening rush. However, if you're in Portland, you are in the thick of it right now. Berlin, some heavy, steady rainfall, but it really is up 95 as you get into Maine. As I mentioned, trying to get through the Boston metro area, but you sort of have this last gasp of very heavy rainfall, even in through Providence right now. You are in it as well. Heavy rainfall rates there. You can see from Boston and the perimeter out here, it has moved through Worcester, so that is some good news too. If you're heading westbound on the Massachusetts Turnpike, that is going to be a little bit of an easier drive as you head westward. But